It looks like I'm wearing sunglasses. Wait, let me close my eyes there. Don't I have cool sunglasses? Good people and beings of the internet, welcome. It's me, your hopefully new favorite domesticated cryptid, Neko here. I'm not wearing sunglasses, just looks like it. Got some Viking makeup going on today, so what could we possibly be talking about? Before we get into that, my deal is that I like to talk about deities, ancient peoples, ancient history, ghosts, just if it's, cryptids. If it's really old or really weird, I want to get into it. Maybe, if you'd like, maybe subscribe, maybe leave a comment, a like, maybe hit that bell, like, you know, whatever, if you're feeling it. You know, I would be very appreciative, just saying. Happy belated Beltane. It is now summer. On the day of Beltane, May Day, we are officially halfway to Halloween. Thank goodness. So today we're going to be talking about Freyja. By popular demand, certain members of my family have been requesting certain topics, so this sibling was very vague with this one, but that's fine because I get to pick what I want. So today we're going to be talking about Freyja. If you're wondering what the sound in the background is, besides my family, it is one of those fireplace 10-hour videos. I thought it'd be a good setting, or like ambient noise to listen to while I tell some tales, or a tale. Freyja is associated with love, beauty, fertility, fine material possessions. In the Greek pantheon, I guess you would associate her with Aphrodite, and then in the Egyptian, most probably with Bastet or Isis. She's that kind of goddess. Now, the lovely Freyja is a member of the Vanir tribe of gods, and then she was welcomed into the Æsir, you know, where Odin and Thor and everybody else are from. Freyja's name itself means the lady, and her name is also, I guess, an attributor to the day Friday. That's where that comes from. She did have several names, several spellings to the name Freyja, but also I'll put any names and stuff here somewhere because I certainly do not know how to pronounce any of them. Okay, we go over this every episode, but just so you know, but the actual name will be down here, so you can then know. Also, if you're from the north, you know how to say these things, call me out. Tell me how I should be saying them. Thank you. Also, I'm sorry. So, we have the name Geffen, which is the giver. Horn, which is flaxen, which is most likely a reference to her flaxen hair. Mardal, which is sea shaker, which I would just assume is kind of similar to like Aphrodite being associated with the sea. I don't know where these names come from. It's just who they come along with. We've also got Valfreya, which is Lady of the Slain, which is a very convenient segue. So Freyja rules over the Fólkvangr, which is which means field of the host. It's where half of the dead go to, whereas the other half of the slain go to Odin in Valhalla. So Freyja gets the other half, and they live with her there. There's a nifty little quote here from the Poetic Edda, which states, "The ninth is Fólkvangr, where Freyja decrees who shall have seats in the hall. The half of the dead each day does she choose, and half does Odin have." There you go, that's how that works. Now, Freyja is a Volva, a sorceress, who, I'll have the proper definition here, but she practiced Seiðr, which is obviously a pre-Christian sort of pagan magic. Freyja was a very helpful goddess, so she would use Seiðr to help anybody who sought her help. She had a cloak made of falcon feathers that she would lend out, and it would help the wearer transform into a falcon, and they could get stuff done. As long as they kind of agreed to her terms and conditions, they could use it. Another one of Freyja's accoutrements, one of her most prized possessions, was a gleaming torque known as Bryn Singamen. Bryn Singamen. Apparently it was made by dwarves, and she purchased it at a very high price, so she was very protective of it. And of course, the main reason I have chosen Freya to talk about first, at least in the Viking god pantheon, is that she had a glittering chariot that was driven by two, either black or gray, domesticated cats. I'm true to my brand. I know what I'm about, I know what I'm here for, I know what I like. So I'll just go ahead and insert whatever super cool pictures I can find, because that's sick. I wish I had that. Like to even have two cats. The one cat I have doesn't want more cats, so what can you do? So as for Freya's family, where she comes from, again, she comes from the Vanir tribe of gods. Her father is Njord, I'm assuming. He's like a god of the sea, like, you know, sailing, fishing, wealth, crops, that sort of thing. They're not sure who her mother is. Obviously there are speculations. One I found here was Nerthus, an old Germanic deity. She's a goddess of peace and plenty, but again, that's just speculation. Freya had a brother who was also possibly her twin, named Freyr, and whereas she is like about love and beauty, I suppose femininity, he's the antithesis of that, which is, you know, power, being very male, prosperity, healthful weather, male virility, that sort of thing. Later, like, you know, when does a god even become grown? When she was grown, she married a man called Odr, O-D-R. So Odir's name had two meanings, the first being furious and passionate, the second meaning mind and sense. Very contradictory, I suppose. Freya had two daughters with this god, Hnoss and Gersemi. Hnoss and Gersemi, whose names mean treasure. And now Odir is gone quite a bit, so he would always be gone for these long stretches of time, so it would cause Freya to cry tears of gold, or red gold. Now, Freya apparently is most likely also Frigg, sort of like how Sekhmet and Bastet, like they were the same, but then were kind of split and made into two different gods. I would assume that's what happened here. Again, I am just a nerd. I'm not a scholar of any sort, because it's unknown why, like, Freya and Frigg were split up into two different goddesses, but I would assume one took one role and the other took another. Same with Odin and Odir. Freya was assumed to either be married to Odin, or that Odin and Odir are the same person. And again, just split, probably with two different powers, different aesthetics, different vibes, you know what I mean. As for what Freya looks like, again, a Germanic Nordic white woman with blonde flaxen hair, golden, long, luscious, of course. Again, not to compare goddesses again, but again, she looks very much like, I suppose they made Aphrodite look, but of course with a Norse flavor. No offense to the goddess. They're both lovely. Please don't smite me. So I believe that's all the pertinent info on the lovely Freya, and now we go into story time. So let's head over there. Welcome to story time. Now, I do like how I'm worried about filming at certain times, because, you know, I don't want to bother anybody, but then, you know, family's just over here yucking it up. And okay, so for this story time, I've got a broader translation of a particular Viking tale. I'm going to read that, and then I will obviously explain what have happened. But it does involve Freya, the lovely Freya, obviously. She was very much lusted after, so of course she had plenty of people wanting to get in there. So we will go into a story about that, but it also does involve the rest of the Aesir. So I'll try to tell it as good as I can, but imagine like a Norse Viking person telling it to you, like, it'd be pretty sick. You know, to go with this lovely crackling fire is this lovely Viking tale. But yeah, I'm gonna tell it how I tell it. I'm gonna do my best, and then of course I will explain what have happened. So here we go. Okay, so I got my lappy here. Okay, here we go. It is okay. So this tale can be found in chapter 42 of Fólkvangr. Oh, I'm gonna write that there. But it comes from that particular little book, from chapter 42. Then said Gangleri, "Who owns that horse Sleipnir, or what is to be said of him?" Har answered, Har means Tyr. Har answered, "Thou hast no knowledge of Sleipnir's points, and thou knowest not the circumstances of his begetting, but it will seem to thee worth the telling. It was early in the first days of the gods dwelling here, when the gods had established the Midgard and made Valhalla. There came at that time a certain right, and offered to build them a citadel in 3 seasons, so good that it should be staunch and proof against the hill giants and the rime giants, though they should come in over Midgard. But he demanded as wages that he should have possession of Freya, and would then have the sun and the moon. Then the Æsir held parley, and took counsel together, and a bargain was made with the right, that he should have that which he demanded, if he should succeed in completing the citadel in 1 winter. On the first day of summer, if any part of the citadel were left unfinished, he should lose his reward, and he was to receive help from no man in the work. When they told him these conditions, he asked that they would give him a leave to have the help of his stallion, which was called Svadivari, and Loki advised it, so that the right's position was granted. He set to work the first day of winter to make the citadel, and by night he had hauled stones with the stallion's aid, and it seemed very marvellous to the Æsir what great rocks the horse drew, for the horse did more work by half than did the right. But there were strong witnesses to their bargain, and many oaths, since it seemed unsafe to the giant to be among the Æsir without truce, if Thor should come home. But Thor had then gone away into the eastern region to fight trolls, instead of turning the page, scrolling down the page. Now when the winter drew nigh unto its end, the building of the citadel was far advanced, and it was so high and strong that it could not be taken. When it lacked 3 days of summer, the work had almost reached the gate of the stronghold. Then the gods sat down in their judgment seats, and sought means of evasion, and asked one another who had advised giving Freya into Jotunheim, or so destroying the air and the heaven as to take thence the sun and the moon and give them to the giants. The gods agreed that he must have counselled this who is wont to give evil advice, Loki Laufeyarson, and they declared him deserving of an ill death if he could not hit upon a way of losing the right his wages, and they threatened Loki with violence. But when he became frightened, then he swore oaths that he would so contrive to the right should lose his wages, cost him what it might. That same evening, when the right drove out after stone with the stallion Svadivari, a mare bound forth from a certain wood, and whinnied to him. The stallion, perceiving what manner of horse this was, straightway became frantic, and snapped the traces asunder, and leapt over to the mare, as she awayed into the wood, and the right after, striving to seize the stallion. These horses ran all night, and the right stopped there that night, and afterward, at day, the work was not done as it had been before. When the right saw that the work could not be brought to an end, he fell into giant's fury. Now that the Æsir saw surely that the hill giant would come thither, they did not regard their oaths reverently, but called on Thor, who came as quickly. And straightway the hammer Mjolnir was raised aloft, and he paid the right's wage, but not with the sun and the moon. Nay, he even denied him dwelling in Jotunheim, and struck but the one first blow, so that his skull was burst into small crumbs, and sent him down below under Niflhel. But Loki had such dealings with Svadivari, that somewhat later he gave birth to a foal, which was grey and had 8 feet, and this horse is the best among gods and men. So it is said in Voluspa. Then all the powers strode to the seats of judgment, the most holy gods, council held together, who had the air all with evil envenomed. or to the Etin race, Odir's maid given. Broken were oaths then, bond and swearing, pledges all sacred, which passed between them. Thor alone smote there, swollen with anger. He seldom sits still, when such he hears of. So now, what did all that mean? So, okay, so one time, this random giant, he comes up, he's like, hey, I can build y'all a super cool wall fence, mega defense thing. It's just like, it's only gonna cost you the sun, the moon, and Freya because she's super mega awesome foxy hot. Okay? And the gods were like, you know, let's talk about it, let's figure it out. Whatever. So they're talking about it and they're like, okay. If you can do this, you know, before summer comes, for like the first day of summer, which relevant, just passed. But yeah, for the first day of summer, then yeah, you can have all these things and it'll be sick. And you know, they're like bartering back and forth. The giant's like, well, hey, what if Thor comes? And they're like, dude, we're not gonna call Thor. He's off fighting trolls or whatever. Don't worry about it. And so they reached an agreement, and he's like, oh, he was also like, hey, can I also use this horse, you know, to speed up everything. And so they're like, yeah, whatever, that's cool. All done. No man could help him, but a horse is fine. So he goes on constructing. So this horse is like super strong, super intelligent, and helps him haul these super large rocks up to the thing. And they're like, the gods are like, yo, look at how that horse is like pulling along. Like, the horse is so strong, it's so easy. Like, it's doing more work than the giant. They're like, okay, but maybe it's not a problem. So he's getting through winter, he's doing it, and like 3 days before summer's gonna pop off, it's looking pretty bad. It's almost done. So they all get together again, and they're like, okay. So this was bad. Who could have made this horrible decision? Who could have made us make this horrible decision? And they're like, you know, it's probably Loki, which it was, like, he counseled, you know, like it said, Loki counseled the whole thing, I guess. He was able to kind of make that happen, and everyone was like, it's most likely Loki. Because when isn't it Loki? So they're like, okay, we're gonna kill you super hard, idiot, unless you fix this. And he's like, okay, I'll fix it. So, you know, like little brother style, whatever, but like he's just having a good time, or I guess, trying to see it from his point of view. But, you know, he's gonna fix it. He'll fix it. That the evening before the first day of summer, Svaldivari is working and doing its thing when a mare bounds forth from the woods. And he's like, hey, little mama. And he immediately loses it and runs after Loki, Mare Loki. Sorry, I can't see without my glasses. But this looks cool. So, 1, hey. 2, preview of the look coming in the next video. It'll hopefully be a little better then. 3, this is in here because part of the little tale that I filmed, it did not fully film. So we will now continue from where that cut off. It's just a little chunk, but I wanna put it in there. Sorry this is taking so long in getting put up. Here we go. Loki, Mare Loki, bounds into the woods, and is quickly followed by Svaldivari, however you say that horse's name. And you know, they're gonna get up to some stuff. So the right, or the giant jötunn guy, he's mad and goes after them, trying to catch up to him. But that takes pretty much all night. There's nothing he can do. So by the time the sun comes back up and it's time for everything to be finished, it's not. So he falls into what the story refers to as a giant's fury, which obviously he's freaking out, he's losing it. Like, what the hell? He's about to, it's about to pop off. It's about to go down. So the Æsir quickly I love the little quote there. Hold on. I super can't see. Oh. They did not regard their oaths reverently, but called on Thor, who came as quickly. I love that. Like, they're literally just like, he's mad. Oh, nope. Thor. Bleh. Like, I love that. I love that. That line is so good. Because, one, of course they were gonna. But, like, it's ultimate, like, reality TV show drama levels. Like, to know, like, y'all got played, and then you played someone else. But then y'all got caught, and then you called somebody, or you called your cousin, your brother, whatever, to take care of it. I love that. There was a show like that, not like a reality TV show, but there was a show like that in New Zealand, I think. I'll post it. I'll put the name of it. I didn't watch it, but I remember it being a thing. Oh yeah, so they call Thor. Obviously, he takes care of it. He brings down his hammer, Mjolnir, and with one blow to the head, takes that hoe out. He's gone. He's dead. It's not a problem anymore. And so now they have a sweet, pretty much complete new little fort there. And Loki gets knocked up by Svalivati, just normal stuff. And that's how Odin gets his steed with the 8 legus and the gray for Sleipnir. His name is Sleipnir. Loki gives birth to an 8-legged foal. All's well that ends well. That's a day in the life of the Æsir. That, just normal everyday stuff. So yeah, so that was the end of the tale. Just a quick little chunk that I had to throw in there because many technical difficulties. Hopefully this will be out soon. Sorry for everybody who missed the video, or a video last week. Hopefully I'll be able to be more prompt with it. But technology. Alright, so take it away, past me. I have little runes on my forehead. I guess it'd be more of the oracle meanings I have for them. But this one is gift. This one is gift without the moon. Don't pay attention to the moon. This one is God, and this one is joy. This is a mostly known fact amongst my family, obviously. But if you're new and you didn't know, I was born the same day as my mother. So I'm literally a gift from the gods that brought joy. Like, it was 15 years before she could have a kid. That was the most joyful thing that ever happened, just saying. I mean, it's a fact, Hope you enjoyed. Stay safe out there. Have a good summer, as good a summer as you can, while staying safe. Remember to take care of each other and take care of yourselves, and I'll see y'all next time.